Welcome back, guys, to day 2 of backtesting until I am a profitable trader. So this one came in a bit late because we are currently 8, almost 9 in the afternoon, but better late than never. So today is a Saturday on 26th April, and let's do some backtesting to see how the markets behave. So recently I've been taking a look on how markets have been behaving, and maybe the Trump regime is affecting the market. But if it is, how about we try backtesting the time when Trump was still president? Well, the 45th, his 45th mandate. So I think it's between 2017 and 2020. So let's try out that time range and backtest it on some of the pair using the ICT strategy and see how it all works out. Let's go. Right, so session 14 had already ended, so I think we'll have to delete it because it had already ended anyways. Then we'll create a new one, session 16. Well, session 15 hasn't been totally fully exhausted, but let's first see how the markets used to behave in Trump's first mandate. So NAS 100, S&P 500, Euro USD, GBP USD, and GBP JPY. Those are the pairs I want to be trading. I haven't classified the ones I really want yet. I'm still trying on and off, trying to see which one will exactly fit with me as I explore my strategy and me as well. So we'll start in 2017. Let's make it okay. Let's actually search it. When was Trump's 45th mandate? So it ran from January 20, 2017 and until January 20, 2021. So let's go here. January, so let's start with February actually. Then let's go to 2021 in February as well. And let's create our session. Right, session 16 is there. Let's backtest it. Quick back to back. It's turning in a bit late. Right, we are here now. As you can see, we are on GBP. Let's go to Euro USD. Let's do some quick analysis and see if we can get some entries as Trump was starting his regime. So you can see that we were in some kind of downtrend, but then we had a market shift showing the market might try to reverse and head into an uptrend instead, because if you can see from here, we were in some kind of down move right here, and this is the daily time frame. But let's go on the monthly time frame and see the overall picture. The overall picture will show an initial uptrend, then fall down. So we are currently in this zone right here. So when we go to the 1 week, we can see some consolidation off of right here, some liquidity swept below these lows, and going higher will be a possibility after taking out these relatively equal lows in the weekly time frame. So I don't think I can trade that, but it will shape my bias. The reason I can't trade it is because I'm not a swing trader, but this will help me shape my bias of the day. So when we go to 1 day, you can see it's a downtrend but trying to head a little bit higher. So I think we are going to trade this upward move. Let's mark some important levels on the daily time frame. So you can see we have our first order block right here. It usually should have been this whole upward move, but let's mark up the last up close candle. So this one will be the daily order block, daily OB. And let's go to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we can see this move. The reason I mark the daily OB is because if market happens to go higher, we might watch out for this order block. So let's try and see what the 4 hour is telling us. So on the 4 hour, let's zoom out a bit. We can see that we have buy side liquidity right here because liquidity was swept right here, then market went down, and this is a really protected high, so this one will be a good point of buy side liquidity. And if market is to go higher, it would run for this high and either reverse or continue higher depending on the conditions available. Now, what potential zones can we mark? On the 4 hour, we can see that we have a strong zone here, a strong support zone, and this one would also have another pool of liquidity below it. But first of all, we can mark an order block right here, a 4 hour order block for HLB. Then we can mark another order block right here. You can see it was tested before going higher. I think this last up close candle, down close candle, sorry, it was tested. Okay, yeah, you can see it was tested, then the market drove higher. So we expect now the market to come test this order block, then take out this liquidity resting on this high, test another point of interest here like a fair value gap, then take out this liquidity, and this will be the move where we would be looking for some potential entries into the market, but with a second thought in mind that we also have another order block here which might cause the market to reverse. So we will wait for a perfect confirmation of what the market shows us, and then we react, because we don't predict what the market does, we react to what it does. So we'll be waiting for a confirmation from the market of what it is about to do. All right, so I think that this is the one important or area we would mark on the 4 hour, and we also have another point of buy side right here. So these are two buy side liquidities of BSL, and I think for this one I'll have to put it on the I think for this one I'll have to put it on the top. All right, the text will be top right, and it will be BSL. Right, so just for the clarity, let's go to the 2 hour now. So when you go to the 2 hour, we can see the classic ICT entry model, by the way, because market was in an uptrend. You can see that we have a protected low, which was a reaction to this order block. We have this low, which was a reaction to this order block, but when you look closely, you can see we have an internal low right here, which is a very great pool of liquidity, which happened to be swept out. So this is a good liquidity sweep. The text will be in the middle center, so it will be liquidity sweep. Then after the liquidity sweep, you can see we have our market shift right here. You can see a market shift, so we can also mark this market shift right here, market structure shift. And since we have buy side, we would expect the market to retest this fair value gap or even into this order block until we feel this inner fair value gap here, then rally back high. So let's go to the 1 hour. So what time is it? It's currently the PM session. So if the PM session shows some opportunities, I usually trade New York time, so if the PM session shows some opportunities, we will enter our trade. But if it doesn't, then we wait for the next day, most likely in the AM session, like at 10, because sometimes the market likes to do some manipulation in the opening hours, like a Judas swing. But I mean, if it will give us the confirmation, that's the key thing. If it gives us the confluences, then we are good to enter. And another good confluence I just noticed is that we have some relatively equal highs right here, which make this a good point of liquidity. Right, so let's put maybe like 30 minutes, and we'll be playing each candle right here, or 15. All right, so you can see it headed lower, and then a good healthy retest of this fair value gap, and after testing this fair value gap, it created this up close candle, but with a very long wick, which is showing that the market really wants to go lower. So let's see what it does next. Okay, healthy retest of the fair value gap, but you can see that we retested this fair value gap right here. That's why I really like to say that this is a strong fair value gap. And with that in mind, actually this would have been another good entry. So in this corrective move, and as you know, the market moves in an uptrend, it does impulsive move, corrective, impulsive, then corrective. So this corrective move gives other order blocks because it's a downtrend but in an internal structure. So this downtrend right here has has a order block, but this order block was intercepted, making it a breaker block. So yeah, you can see it right there. So a good entry would have been on this breaker block right here. This would have been one good entry. This one like this. Target below the low and target this buy side liquidity short. This short buy side liquidity will give you a 1 to 7, and we can see how it reacts to it. So it went higher and higher, and obviously it took out the buy side liquidity, and our TP would have been hit in a time of just 13 hours, and this would have dropped us onto Wednesday. All right, so 13 hours aren't actually much, but I prefer taking entries on the 15 minutes so that they last at least 4 hours. One 4-hour candle is enough to make you the daily dough. So let's go to the 15 minute. So what do we see on the 15 minute? We can see some liquidity which was swept out right here. If I was to hide this, you'd see that this was a low taken out, then market shifted again, trying to move higher and higher. So this wouldn't tell us, this actually causes a little confusion in my mind, like between an order block and a fair value gap, which one actually has the high priority, because you can see it reacted to an order block and a fair value gap. But my conclusion usually draws to, most of the times when a fair value gap coincides with a breaker block, that is, I think it's called the unicorn structure. I don't remember the name that ICT gave it, but that is a good point to enter. And when you have a good entry on the order block, that's also a strong one, because order blocks are strong. I know on the reaction of after the market shift, order blocks are really strong, but I also have this debate in mind. Maybe this will be a discussion for later, but that is a strong debate that should be discussed on. So you can see that we would have had our first long entry, which is actually long, like not in the long of buying, but took a long time. I mean, 13 hours is a bit long for a day trader, but maybe I'll be adjusting day to day to see if I can bear waiting for all that time. All right, so you can see that market now kept going higher. So let's mark up the most important times of the day so that we don't miss them. Let's mark up 8:30. Well, would have marked up also Thursday at 3, because that's when London session starts, and you can see that the market created a big move actually here. Should have given a good trade to scalpers. But let's mark up the start of the New York session. So 8:30. Then we will also mark up 9:30 right here. All right. So this will be something that is not bad. So put 5 minutes so that you can see this candles printing, and let us go. Right, so market is trying to do a small drop to this fair value gap, and before 8:30 it looks like it's dropping a little or in some kind of consolidation. So I usually don't take some big moves during the London session because I know it's full of some manipulation, but let's see. So 8:30, let's go to the 5 minute. All right, so you can see that we had some bit of consolidation right here after this large move in the London session. Actually, we can also see the sessions eye on eye. So you can see London session starting at 3 or 2, somewhere around there. It created this high, and New York session started by taking it. New York session will start by taking these highs or lows out. So we have this point right here as or this one. This one was swing low that the London created. We also have this one right here, the swing high of London. All right, these are important liquidity levels to look out for. Let's hide this again. Right, so let's play it and see. Okay, so it went higher, boom, took out the Asian and London highs, you can see them right here, and created a small retracement downward, lower and lower. All right, so we're playing around this higher time frame liquidity level. Okay, no retracements yet. Okay, cool drop. So we took out these highs right here, and then after that it generated a fair value gap and it's retesting it. Should we trust this? I wouldn't advise that, but since our bias is bullish, we can only try to notice one thing. We can notice that we have this fair value gap which was tested right here, and then this will give us a potential that the market is trying to go a bit higher. So let's wait for what the market is about to show. So first created some down close candles showing some signs of holding on. Okay, so it went lower and higher. Okay, so I think this is not a good time to trade this, to trade Euro USD, but you can see now it started going lower, a bit lower, so I bet it was a reaction on this fair value gap. Seeing how these candles all closed below the line of this first candle of the fair value gap, so maybe it's coming to look for the London low before it goes higher. So healthy retracement, this will give us a short opportunity. This will be like 1-to-1 or 1-to-1.5, actually 1-to-1.8. that's a nice one. So let's see how this one will go. Okay, good trade, good trade. You can see that fair value gap retest, and then we headed lower to this liquidity point right here. So basically we mark up our liquidity points and look to get a good trade. So I think that was all for today. I'll continue backtesting off screen because, man, speaking really requires some energy, but no need. One punch a day and one trade a day until we make it. So thank you for following up until here, and until we talk again, which is probably tomorrow. Be safe.